I'm Mason Mount. You're listening to the London is Blue podcast.
All right, let's get out of the weeds here. We talked about some young players at the beginning coming back, but we've got some new faces that will definitely be in the first team, without a doubt. Timo Werner, also known as Timo Burner on the socials, and Akim Ziyech. Wow, tell you what, we had some light debuts. 4 minutes, Timo. That's all. All right, great. Welcome to the club. You are now, as far as we are concerned, about to win the Golden Boot. And I couldn't be more happy, Nick, because that is not an overreaction. That is just a fact.
Yeah, staying very, very mild in your takes. I like that.
38 goals minimum in the league at this rate. He's on pace.
Flame, recognized Flame. That's good. It reminded me, Dan, when he scored so early in his Chelsea career, of when Costa came and just started scoring immediately, and there was no weight, or the weight of expectations didn't get to him. There was no time weight on how long it would take him to score. It's like first match, 19th minute in. All right, let's go. We got about 38 more matches to go here. So nice to see. It was actually I think what most people recognize with this run of play for the goal was Ziyech putting in an absolute peach of a ball with his left foot that Cal was able to kind of face or chest down into the path of Timo Werner, and for an easy kind of tap. And it was a delight to see.
Well, right place, right time. And that's where you want your striker to be, is up near the box, being ready to go and convert the opportunities. And what we were missing last season, which you saw in that run of play, was the ability to quickly transition. And that ball was on the far right-hand side of the pitch, with Ziyech knocking it all the way across right into Callum's path on the left in the box. So we went from way outside the box to actually putting the ball into the box, moving it past lines, which is, again, something we talked about last season. We had a really hard time moving past multiple lines of either defenders or midfielders, and that allowed Callum to body it down. We'll just kind of put it there, and right into Timo's path, and Timo's able to just kind of take it through and move ahead with it. And that really gets a early monkey off his back, because the last thing you want is someone to be not scoring right away when you have paid a pretty substantial fee for him, and that avoids a lot of concern. So Ziyech with a super early impressive performance with that, Timo with an early impressive performance, and actually Callum offering some good energy on the pitch too. So good from all three of them, Brandon.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but look, Ziyech was on every free kick and dead ball situation. Holy shit, have we been missing something like that? Like, his ability to put a ball on a dime is wild. And I'm just
the argument that ball that he played in for the assist was not even his best ball. The one that he put in from the left-hand side on the set piece that Werner, I think, couldn't get his head around. That was, you're like, where's that been? A clear path to goal. That's incredible.
Yeah. I'm just excited, right? It's like this fresh thing, and like he just walks in and is like, I'm on the ball. We don't need three people around the ball. Like, I got it. We know what we're doing, and you can't defend it. And I'm thrilled. Obviously, Ziyech had to come off early. Twist of the knee, a bit of a concern there. So with the amount of matches that Chelsea are going to have to play right away this season, and we don't really know what the squad depth is going to be like, but it's going to be hard to replace a guy like Ziyech. I mean, he's so unique in his skill set, and it will, and from what we've seen, is going to be so integral to like the creating, especially in those block 8, block 10 teams. Really hope he can go home, ice it, and be good to go after that. What about the Gallagher season, right? Got that back, Dan? Go ahead. And he made a fun impact when he came on in the second half.
Yeah, it was exciting. We talked with Joe in our Keep Sell Loan conversation, which if you haven't had a chance to listen to that, you're in for a treat. If you had, you already know how delicious it was. But yeah, Connor had a really nice appearance out. I think his best moment of the match was when he was able to kind of knock the ball down and put it basically right in Giroud's path, where could have converted it at the end potentially for a goal there, and just really, made himself a visible presence on the pitch. This game was missing, some of our other midfielders who might have started ahead of him, like Mason or Barkley, and gave him an opportunity to impress. And so I think there's going to be a lot of movement still in this squad before the transfer window ends, trying to figure out where these players go on loan. Obviously, Gallagher has a lot of Championship and Premier League interest as a loan candidate. And so, he's going to either make a case to stay, or some club is going to come in and want his services for a season here.
Maybe a little audition for Brighton.
Maybe not one of the rumored names, but sure.
Until they play him, Dan, and they see it firsthand.
I mean, it's important to note that he came on for Ziyech after the tweak, right? And the only point that I want to make on this is that given the schedule congestion, given the fact that the preseason's been condensed into a couple of weeks, there are going to be injuries. We started to see a bunch of injuries at the end of Project Restart. There are likely to be more injuries. I'm not poo-pooing the idea that we're not going to be able to play our full strength squad all the time. It's just the odds of that become increasingly unlikely the more you kind of go through this forest of matches. So having squad depth has never been more important, if Chelsea want to make a real run at the league. So just throwing that out there.
Absolutely. To depth though, I was really glad to see Callum's form. He looked bright. He looked up for it. You wouldn't assume he struggled this past season where he's at today, which I think is a really good sign of, his approach to this season. Rudiger and Ampadu both gave away penalties. Big Willie saved the first. Couldn't get to the second. That's asking a little bit much of us goalkeepers to save 2 penalties in a match. But we're still kind of hoping and expecting changes to come in that back line, that defensive unit. At least for me, especially if you watched our Keep Sell Loan where I sold everybody.
Can I quickly say on Rudiger? Jeez, man. It was awful. It was clumsy. I think Ampadu's was a little bit more forgivable, if not naive. Kind of sticking your foot across. I think he got the ball, but he had to go through the man to get it. Rudiger's, come on, dude. He's far too experienced, even in a preseason scenario, to be doing that. So, yikes.
Well, it's because he got beat too. That's the problem. It's so unnecessary. Someone running away from the goal has to head it back. They have so much yet to do, and you still kind of, anyways, like I said, decision making, man.
This is not Barcelona, dude. They struggled to score goals all last year.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, and that's where I think when you looked at some of the work that Clark Salter was doing in the beginning of the match, no nonsense, right? There were a couple of times that the ball got into what I would consider a more dangerous position. And instead of taking the route of trying to play it out of the back, he said, nope, not doing that, and just booted it far away, which I think the benefit, right, if someone like Clark Salter is that he is a natural left footer and was playing the left-sided role, and you could see how that helped someone like Alonso and kind of quickly moving the ball around. So that's an interesting one to keep an eye out for. Is he potentially being viewed as a depth candidate for this season? If some of the Tomori going on loan rumors are true, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, I think that the Willie save on the first one, by the way, was a really good save. Strong hand, low in the corner. And to your point, Nick, the Ampadu, if that happened in a Premier League match, I would be super pissed that it was called. It was very nonchalant, but
it was naive. I think it was a penalty. I think it was just he got turned and wanted to make a play on the ball, and I understand that, and I will give him. It sounds like I'm being harsh on Rudiger and easy on Ampadu. That's probably the case. I think Rudiger's was egregious, and you can't drag someone like they
Yeah.
made a point. They're going to be looking for contact in the box on set pieces this year, and the referee I think identified what was going on the skirmish pre set piece and was like,
Yeah.
if he does it, I got him dead to rights.
You remember the World Cup they did that? Where it's like anytime you grabbed a guy's jersey, it was just like an automatic penalty. I wonder if the FA are going to go wild and be like, let's just change the game again this season. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it was. Well, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be something that the players and the coaching staff are going to need to learn in the first couple matches and see, because it'll become very evident very quickly how this is going to be officiated this season. And I think what didn't happen last year is teams didn't adapt to the fact that the flag should stay down. And so there were a couple of times where players should have continued running to try to score because they weren't offside. And so just things that are going to, are changing slightly. You have to be able to adapt and react really quickly. And that's just hopefully another note that they're taking in terms of how they respond or start the upcoming season.